I am Sher-Mike-Q-Well. I have a picture up here. I never surfed. I played for the LA Chargers, but I never surfed. A lot of times, and I collected my mind and my space at the beach. But I used the surfboard, and I had to, when I went through my dark space in life, I look at life as being on a surfboard. If you take a look at the surfboard, you see you have a board, you have a shark bite in it. And the way that I look at life and I look at things that I'm going after is I'm trying to go into the water, because when you look at the ocean, you can make it to any place. You can go into any destination. But if you're stuck on that beach and you're stuck at the sharks that's in that water, you won't ever make it there. So what you have to do is you have to step out on faith, and have the faith the size of a mustard seed to be able to reach what you want to. Don't worry about the sharks that's in the water to carry on, but you can push forward. You can't let fear hold you down and hold you back from attacking and going towards your dreams. So that's why I put that. I am Sher-Mike-Q-Well. This is my family. This is my beautiful family. This is my lovely wife. Thank you for that. This is my lovely wife, Victoria. You have Chance Moore, you have Shia Devine, and you have baby Kyle, who's 11 months, is about to turn 1 next week. This is my family. This is my why. This is why I get up every day and I do what I need to do, and I make sure that I can't get held back. Why? Because they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be here, but it is my job and it is my duty to provide for them the life and be able to raise them up and structure them so that they can carry it out on. So next slide, please. This is me. This is the scripture that I say to myself, and this was the first tattoo that I put on my body because I believed in it, and I didn't know you're not supposed to have tattoos, but that's another story for another day. Philippians 4:13, it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, because I can. And when I take you through my life journey, you'll be able to see within yourselves that, hey, if he was able to do it, I can do it. If he was able to work through these trials and tribulations that was placed into his life, I can do it as well. So I wanted to show you up here. I played for the Chargers. I was an entertainer. That's what football is. That's to be frank and honest. We ain't do nothing but entertain. Growing up, they never told us that. But when you get to the NFL, you find out it is a business. It is not the child's game that you once played anymore. When you look at this, I had articles. I had a lot of papers written about me, being resilient, being fearful, being able to move forward, because, yes, I had brain surgery in college. I had went through a divorce, and I went through a lot of things that shaped me and that could have crushed me, but I kept on pushing forward because I never settled. And I never will settle in life. And I would implore you today to never settle. I always have that kid mentality inside you where you can create and have whatever that you want in this earth, as long as you wake up and you have that breath deep and breathing, pumping in your body. Next slide, please. So this is something that we was going to do, but we switched it up. God was speaking in a moment, but this is something that I wanted to put out there. When I was growing up, I grew up in the church house. They used to always tell us, God, use me for your will. God, use me for your will. You got a lot of prayers, you got a lot of scriptures to say, God, use me for your will. But who really know how God is going to use them for his life, for your life, to get his work done? Because I have not created nothing. I'm just a vessel that God is pushing through to get his will done in this earth. So I always go back and say, forever, we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do the good works in which God has prepared in us. When you look at my life story, you'll see what he's prepared and what I'm doing now. Next slide, please. The start of my life. So yes, my whole life was football. I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I'm from Pleasant Grove, right down the road. Yes, Jungle West is where I'm from. This is me. I am from Dallas. I started out playing for the Oak Cliff Jets. Well, I really started for the St. Philip Saints when I was 5. Started football at a really young age. Then, that's out of South Dallas if you didn't know. Then I went to Oak Cliff, played for the Oak Cliff Jets. Then we went to East Dallas and played for Gaston Middle School. After Gaston Middle School, we went on to Skyline High School, the Great Skyline, where I played for the Coach Resident Samples. Graduated in 2011, and I was a Texas Top 100 player while playing then. Robbers had all the rankings, had all the scholarships, had everything. But I still had the gray shirt. If anybody don't know what a gray shirt is, I had multiple scholarship offers, Texas Top 100 player. When you look at my track record, you look at my stats, why would he have the gray shirt? What a gray shirt said is, hey, we don't have a scholarship for you now. But when the winter time comes, you're gonna be on a scholarship roll. Why did I have to go to a gray shirt? My junior year in high school, I committed to the University of Minnesota, to Tim Brewster. My senior year, a week before signing day, Tim Brewster lost the job. Jerry Kidd got the job, and my scholarship was gone a week before signing day. No, mind you, I kept on getting offers, but the way that scholarship offers work is if you don't take that offer, it's on to the next man. They don't tell you that, they don't teach you that. That's why we do that now. It's on to the next man. So when I went back, Kansas State was the first scholarship offer I ever got. They always wanted me. At the end of the day, when I didn't have no more scholarships because I didn't take them, I had Kansas State, Texas Tech, and the University of Miami, the U. Now, I could have went to Texas Tech, I could have went to Miami, but that was the last choice. I had to wait till after signing day. My father always instilled in me, go with who wants you. They've been there first. Go with who you want you. So we went to Great Shirt, next state. And that's how I ended up at Kansas State University. Yes, this is me, Sher-Mike-Q-Well, number 52, holding the family block, because I'm a family man. And Bill Snyder always taught about doing things for the family. If anybody doesn't know anything about Bill Snyder, Hall of Fame coach. He's been inducted to the College Hall of Fame, and Bill Snyder runs a tight ship. I've seen many players come and go that couldn't get along with what Bill Snyder said. One of the things, because you got to follow order, procedure, and structure. If you have no structure, if you don't have discipline, you don't have accountability, Bill Snyder's not going to rock with you, and you will never see that field. I don't care if you're the best athlete on the field. We had Arthur Brown that transferred from the University of Miami. His brother Bryce Brown came in, top 5 recruit, best running back on the program, and he never seen the field today, but he still went to the league. So what I learned from Bill Snyder, as you can see, I started in 2011. I left Kansas State in 2017. I graduated in 2014. So I graduated in college in 2 years. When you look at this and say I was at Kansas State from 2011, 2017, I didn't start my college career until 2012. I graduated the winter of December 14th, 2014. I took advantage of my scholarship. See, I ain't no dumb job. A lot of people try to put you in the category saying athletes are only athletes. They're not smart in the field room. I just took advantage of the system. The way that I was able to graduate in 2 years is that it's a thing called intercession classes that we all go through. At Kansas State, at the time I was there, we got paid to go through intercession classes. So you mean to tell me I can knock out a whole class that take a whole semester in 4 weeks? Sign me up anytime, anyway. And we got study hall that can help us push through that. Why not? The help is there. I need tech. I told you, I'm from the Grove. I didn't come from a trust fund. My parents still had work. So if I can make bread and still be able to better my education, that's what I did. So that's how you get 21 hour semesters, 18-hour semesters, 12-hour summers. Why? Because I wasn't playing about Let's transform because I'm still at Kansas State. Please, next picture. Rhabdomyolysis. Me playing football, I'm taking you down my football journey, the things that I had to go through. My body has went through rhabdomyolysis. For some of you guys that don't know what rhabdo is when your muscles start breaking down in your kidneys. Coming into 2014, I was coming into my into my junior year. I was getting ready to start playing. I'm doing everything. We had a great game against South Dakota State. Kicked their tail. Really kicked their tail. But after that game, my body started shutting down. See, I started having back pain in my body that Sunday. But in college, if you're not on the field, you ain't getting looked at. If you're not practicing, you can't play. So one thing about it is the way that football works, it's the next man up. One man go down, the next man up. And I seen a lot of players that went down but never came back up. Even though their body healed up, what happened? Somebody else got their shot, and they took advantage of the shot. So in college, when you feel in pain, you do whatever you have to do to get the job done. One of the things I always tell people about football players, we're going to do whatever we have to do to be on the field. I don't care if it's taking pills. I don't care if it's knock out the pain. Whatever you have to do is what I was taught to be on the field to make it to what? That final NFL dream. Before I went to Kansas State, I had a coach sit down and tell me, son, close the door. He looked at my mom and my dad, and he told them, you come here to play football. I know you see all this and that, but we giving you a scholarship, son. Athletics work. If a coach don't win, he get fired. And if he get fired, he has to find another way to feed his family. So coaches give scholarships to players that can help feed their family. Let's learn the system. And when you know the system and you learn the system, you know how to navigate through the system. So my body went through rhabdomyolysis. Tuesday, I had a hard practice. I couldn't even stand up to cook dinner for my wife. My girlfriend, which is my wife now, my girlfriend said, babe, hold on. You need to go to the doctor as a man. Nah, I'm good. My trainer's all right. Not knowing you that I urinated blood 2 days before that. My wife is seeing the stuff that's happened to my body, but me, hey, it's a difference between pain and injury. This stuff now I'm feeling is just a little pain. This ain't no injury, so let's keep on pushing. Hey, let me tell you, somebody say thank God for strong women. So thank God for your wife. So what my wife do? She called my parent, say, hey, he not listening to me. He need to go to the doctor. He want to wait to get up in the morning and go. So my parents get on the phone, hey, let's go. You need to go to the hospital. I get to the hospital. My creatinine level is at a 3.5. If anybody know about kidneys, if your creatinine level gets to a level 5, you in big trouble. Your kidneys explode, you got to go on dialysis. Doctor told me when I went in, I was sitting in the bed, they say, hey, boy, if you didn't come in today, you would have been dead. You would have had serious problems. So I thank God for listening. As I'm in the hospital, they're not knowing what's going on. They don't know how this happened. They're looking at my levels, my blood work levels. I have the testosterone level as a 70-year-old man. They blown away. Why are my levels off? Well, football came into play. They say, oh, he got kidney stones. Don't worry about it, coach. He'll be all right. So coach came and see me. I get out the hospital. We getting ready for Auburn. Next slide, please. We get ready for Auburn. They trying to figure out how can I play? How can I get? Because we got Auburn. We got Thursday night game, baby. You are a starter. You are a leader. We need you. Your players need you. I said, all right, whatever. But I'm at the hospital. I can barely walk. I'm throwing up. I can't keep nothing down. So my mama would say, hold on. Y'all just ain't about to rush my baby back to the field. Hey, auto full body CAT scan, auto full body MRI. So you see I said brain tumor discovery, right? You see I said brain tumor discovery because when I went into the office, September 13th of 2014, my life was forever changed. See, I walked into Matt's office because the kids had practice. I say kids now because, the players had practice and I'm coming in, getting ready to go down to my baby shower because we just now about to bring baby Chance. You seen Chance, that's my firstborn. He's just now getting we're about to go down to Kansas City to the baby shower and Matt called, hey, we got your results and come in. I'm like, hey, let's go. I'm about to get cleared. We about to see what's going on. Let's get back to the field. As soon as I walk in, Matt have a look on his face. I'm like, hold on. Why are you looking like that? He said, Mike, come in, close the door, sit down. I said, all right, yes, sir. What's going on, Matt? He said, man, Mike, well, we got the test results back and everything is, we got to sit down. We got to reevaluate some stuff. I say, Matt, all right. He said, man, Mike, you got to pituitary tumor. I said, all right, bet. What I need to do? When can I get back to the game? He said, nah, son. Didn't you hear what I said? You have a brain tumor. Hold on, I'm used to broken fingers, dislocated knees, ACLs. Hold on, brain tumor? I can't see it. What you mean I got a brain tumor? How this come? How this fall? We don't know yet. Okay, bet, brain tumor, cool. When can I get back to playing the game? Because, like I said, I was told you come to Kansas State to what? Play football. Number one goal in my life, as I always said, I'm going to make it to the NFL. You can't make it to the NFL not being on the field, not playing football. So, okay, we fast forward. He said, I got a brain tumor. Tell me I never play football again. Tell me I have to, Mike, it's time for you to think about things outside the game. So I said, okay, Ben, not receiving that, what we need to do. He said, okay, we're going to hook you up with the endocrinologist down in Topeka, Kansas. I said, okay, we went down there and see him. Mind you, I'm in my last year of school. See, we didn't know that I was close to graduating. But as we all know, when that pressure hit and things are getting shaky, we got to make sure that we prepared. So what did I do? I ramped down. I'm in my last semester of school. So I finish, I graduate, I get on medicine because my endocrinologist puts me on medicine and say, Mike, you won't have to have surgery. We can beat this. Let me put you on a medicine that can shrink your tumor. Mind you, though, you got to take your medicine the right way. Why? If I messed up on the way that I took my medicine, my heart could harden. See, that's the thing about science and medicine. They want to cure one thing, but have a defect or a side effect on the next side. So I said, okay, cool, whatever it takes to get in medicine. Next slide, please. We say the birth of the junior Moors. I graduated. My baby was born 2016. The doctor told me that, Mike, you had a testosterone level as a 77-year-old man. You're not supposed to be producing kids. Are you sure your son is yours? You had a testosterone level as a 77-year-old man. You're not supposed to be playing ball on a college level. Are you sure how are you able to do this? 8 out of 9 doctors told me they was gonna have to crack my skull open, remove my pituitary gland, and I'll be on medicine for the rest of my life. I was done with football. Charles C. Sender, my endocrinologist, did a practice at the NIH. One doctor said that he can do an experimental surgery to where he can cut under my lip, break my nose, move it to the side, and go through my nasal canal to cut my brain tumor out piece by piece. Next slide, please. That's what we did. That's exactly what we did. April 17, 2015, I had brain surgery, y'all, down in Bethesda, Maryland, at the National Institution of Health. If you know anything about the NIH, that's a government-owned hospital. You have to be accepted into the hospital for them to take on your case. I was accepted. The National Institution of Health paid for my surgery. They looked at me, they said, Mr. Moore, we don't know how this came from, where this came from. You're not supposed to be doing this. We don't see pituitary tumors until people are 55 and older. How are you 21 going through this? And you still trying to play football? See, I had to start wearing glasses because where the tumor was sitting, my octave vision was affected. So we had surgery. Next slide, please. Recovering. My nose is swollen as hell. You can see it's all in here. So recovery route, I can't pick up nothing for over 10 pounds for 6 weeks. I go home, I can't do nothing. I go through the journey, as you see my baby boy, we go through that past life. We go through 6 weeks, we go back to NIH. They do my blood work. They look at me and they say, hey, you recovered. You healthy. You clear. You can play football. Oh, okay. I can play ball? Well, let's go then. I went back to Kansas State University. And they were surprised. Hold on, you still trying to play ball? Yeah, I'm here. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead and take a lap around the field. Yeah, I couldn't even run. I couldn't even walk 50 yards. I walked 50 yards and I sat down. I was tired, about to pass out. I had a trainer, Minnie House, she said, Mike, I know what you've been through. It's crazy that you're even trying to come back. But for your body to heal up like it needs to, for your body to get prepared and do the things that you wanted to do, you got to be positive. Because when your body is positive, you're not down, you're not stressed, you're not negative, your body can naturally heal itself and it can repair itself so you can do the things that you want to do. So what do? We faked it till we made it, baby. Some days I got up, I didn't want to push forward. It was hard having to restart, not even able to lift the bar. And I'm bench pressing more than 350 plus pounds, going close to 400, and I got to start over? Are you serious? And I only got 2 years left because we on the time clock. What we do? Next slide, please. We worked our tail off. That's what we did. I recovered from having brain surgery 2 months. God produced my body, got me back on the field, and I started in our first game, September 5th, against South Dakota State. They were blown away. They said, Mike, we're not going to play you as much. We're going to sit you down. You're just not coming back. But me as a player, I'm fighting with inside. Hold on, y'all not understanding. I just had brain surgery. I already missed the season. I'm trying to go. I am going to the league. You got to put me on the field. Why? Because if you're not on the field, you don't get seen. And if you won't get seen, it's hard to get into the league. And if you won't get into the league, I'll be a failure in my eyes and my mind. Boy, because everybody told me, even my father even preached it. You make it to the NFL, everything will be okay. That's the same lie and dream that we teach to all our kids. And when it comes to profession, if you make it, if you just get there, everything will be okay. How many in this room knows that a lot of people that are saying that ain't never been there? Not half the people that's coaching and telling these kids that feeding them that lie, they never touched it. They just speaking from speculation. So what do? We start playing, we start buying. I just made it through. Next slide, please. Oh, September 24th. A couple weeks after I started playing, my father passed away. My best friend, my rider, my guy, the guy that the only reason why I'm playing football. Then I'm gonna take you down a little journey, small journey, and how this came about. See, I told you I wasn't playing as much. They didn't want to play me because of brain surgery. Me not understanding that. So I was thinking about transferring. I already graduated. One thing about college football is if you graduate, you can transfer to another university and you can still play because it's called a graduate transfer. And I still had 2 years left. SMU is my home. I could come down to Dallas, transfer, and have a final year at SMU. So this is the plan that me and my dad put together and say, hey, it's me and you against the world. We're down in Denver on September 24th, coming back from Yom Kippur. I follow the Torah, so we follow the Jewish holidays. So we're coming back from Yom Kippur, and then on the 24th. My family's coming back to Dallas. I'm going back to Kansas because I only got a brief stint before I got to get back to football. That morning, we wake up, regular morning. We ride to the airport, regular airport. Now I had a sick feeling because, okay, my whole family now, we got 2 kids at this time because the doctor told me, hey, now that your testosterone back, your testosterone is at a 13-year-old boy. So if your wife come back, when you come back and she pregnant, we ain't gonna be surprised. Well, she came back and she was pregnant. So I said that to say, I'm running. My emotions are crazy. We're steady going. I have my whole family going to Dallas and I'm going to Kansas and I'm not playing. As an athlete trying to get to the league, I'm going through these I'm mentally challenged. I'm mentally hurt. Last thing my father said to me was, son, go back to school. Finish up, we're going to transfer, and we're going to be good. It's me and you against the world. When I landed, I talked to my father at 3 o'clock, told him that I made it. He said, all right, go to weights, get out, we're going to top it up, we'll be good. I went to weights, I get the weights, and I go upstairs, I'm leaving. One of my great friends come and meet me at the door. I'm sorry, this is always a touchy time. And so we get done, he tell me, he say, hey, you need to go upstairs right away. You need to go see your coaches. Okay, good. Let me go up there. So I go upstairs. My mom has Graves' disease. She's been battling it my whole life. So I'm thinking something was wrong with my mom. What's going on, coach? What's up with my mama? Nothing wrong with your mama, everything. We just sending you home. Don't ask no questions. Hold on, my wife is pregnant because she was pregnant. What's going on with my wife? You know, we coming from Denver elevation. Anything was happening. Never in my mind I'm thinking it's my dad. I get on the phone, I call him, no answer. I call him, no answer. I call him, okay, he ain't answering. Let's call my mom. Nobody's answering. Finally, my brother-in-law called me back. He said, hey, your dad had a heart attack. He's good. They working on him now. Get home. Everything's going to be okay. I said, all right, bet, let's do it. See, my grandfather had a heart attack, and he was 76 years old. They trached him, got the breathing pipe. They did CPR on him, and now he's still living. My dad was only 52. So he the strongest man I know. He had a heart attack. I bet I'm going to go home. We're going to get together. He going to see me. We're going to work, and we're going to be on this thing together. I get on the plane. I'm coming home. As soon as I land, I start getting text messages. Your father was a real. Dang, I'm sorry to hear that, man. You strong. Be strong for you and your family. I'm not understanding. I'm mixed with emotions. I'm in the airport crying, bawling. My uncle comes and picks me up and gets me in the car. And he puts me on the phone. I say, Ma, niggas telling me that my daddy died. What's going on? You telling me that everything's good? Stop lying. Come to me. We driving. They say we're going to be at the doctor's office. We make it to the house. I got everybody standing around outside. And when you pull up and you got a big family and when somebody passed away, you know, everybody get together and everybody's trying to be together. Well, we pulling up to the house. We ain't pulling up to the doctor's office. I walk out and I'm seeing my mama and you know, I don't know why people do this, but everybody is just like this way and this way, and you walking down like you about to get married or something, everybody's just looking, and I come to my mama. I'm talking to her, she said, hey, your father passed away, he had a heart attack, he passed away. He passed away on the highway, he didn't hit nobody, he's gone. Hold on, what? I was just about to buy a plane ticket back to Dallas and say, forget Kansas State. And the fact that I went to Kansas State, now you're telling me my dad's not here? What? I'm sacrificing everything for football and you're telling me that my best friend, my rider, my God is not here? What? How you deal with that? So what? I had to make a decision. Next slide, please. Are we going to go back to Kansas State or are we going to take on the family business? See, my dad had a landscaping business. We were going to take on, I was going to say, the hell with football. I'm just being very transparent. Why? I graduated. I can just run the family business. I'm smart. My mama say, hey, what's something we always taught you? We don't quit anything when we start. They told me that since I was a youngster. I got 1 year I got in the track and I hated it. I'm a football player. I don't run track. I hated it. They say, hey, we don't quit nothing we start, so we're going to finish to the end. So now that my father passed, and I'm thinking, okay, we emotional. I got to hold things down for the crib. T-Jar don't say, won't finish nothing we start. You still in season. You got to go back to the school. You and your wife get y'all playing together, but you going back. So what did I do? I had to make a decision. I made a decision that was the best decision of my life. I went back to Kansas State. Next slide, please. Went back to Kansas State. Had a great career. Went back, had 5 games left. Finished that game with finished that season with 75 tackles. Only played in 6 games. I was on the road. My last game that season, I had 17 tackles, 16 solos, 2 sacks, and that against West Virginia, which led us to the bowl game, Liberty Bowl, where I was the defensive player of the game. All that didn't mean nothing. Why? If you see my face, that don't mean nothing. I'm playing football to die. That's when my mindset that went now. You see, ladies and gentlemen, during that time, when I'm playing ball back at school, I'm down there by myself. Yeah, my teammates and my coaches were great, but I started drinking heavy. I used to drink 2 750 milliliter Crown Apples a week before a game. I pick up one Monday. I drink it all the way to Thursday. Friday, we at the hotel, so you can't drink then. Saturday, you got the game. After the game, I give me another bottle, and I'm done with that second bottle by Sunday. Why? Monday start back. After the game, you know we're drinking. That's just what we do. Our body's hurting, our body's in pain, and we went at it. So there's 2 750 milliliters, and I'm dying inside. I'm married too. My family's down here in Dallas, and I'm up there in Manhattan, Kansas. I'm hurt. I'm dying. I hate it. I said, hey, we're going to die on this field. The only way I can be on this field and feel my daddy is being on the field playing football. Hey, we're going to die on this thing. So I dedicated my life to dying. Next slide, please, on the field. You can go back. As you can see, we had a great career. We got Bill Snyder, 100 win. Like, we made history at Kansas State. Everything was great. Next slide, please. We're going to going into the league. See, when I was getting ready for the league, I went through a divorce. Yeah. I went through a divorce while getting prepared for the biggest interview of my life. My whole life we worked towards this. And we go through a divorce now? You want to leave me now? Oh, man, say, I was hurt. I was abused. Let's look at the statistics outside of these outside factors that was presented in life. 6.5 high school players make it to the college round to play ball. 6.5%. That's it. Out of 1 million kids. Then you take it from there, it's only 1.5 that make it to the NFL. Small percentage. I'm one at 1.5, but it's small. Even taking everything I've been through, it's small. So when you tell me that you want to do something, you want to aspire to do, I'm your number one person that say, hey, you can do it. Knock it out the park. If I was able to work through trauma, because that's all I just showed you, was the traumas that I had to go through, the traumas that shaped me to be the person I am today. If you deal with trauma and not run away from it, you can achieve it and have whatever that you want in life. Next slide, please. I already told you, what is it for a man to profit the world but gain his soul? What is it for a man to profit the world but lose his soul? I made it to the NFL. I made it. I accomplished that dream, that goal that I placed in life. But at the same time, I lost my soul at the same time. I didn't have my family. I didn't have my kids. I didn't have my father, who I made it a point that, hey, you didn't make it. See, my daddy was right there. You didn't make it, but I am. And I'm here, but you're not here to do it. First check I got, I bawled my eyes out and I cried. Why? What am I here for? This don't mean nothing to me because I ain't have my family to do it. People, I got to mind you, my lifestyle in college, I used to come down to Dallas, wait till 12 o'clock at night for my babies to be asleep. Drive up to Kansas State, Manhattan, Kansas, which is a 6.5-hour drive. Get my family in, go to waste at 6, come home, make breakfast, spend time. Everything that I did in life was about my babies. And now to the fact that they're not there with me, it almost killed me, y'all. It almost killed me. I had a psychologist that I met at the Chargers. I met with him 5 days out the week. 5 days, Dr. Herb Martin helped me save my life. Helped me talk through my trauma. Helped me work through my trauma. So you say mental, when you say mental health advocate, I'm knowing. When you say your mental health is important, I would definitely say that. When you say it's the difference from mental health and mental illness, I would definitely say that. Because mental illness, you're diagnosed with something and they saying it's there, and now you're trying to put a plan in place together on how you're going to move forward. See, mental health, that's something you got to work with daily. That's a daily grind, a daily struggle, a daily test that you got to keep your thoughts under captivity. Next slide, please. So I gained it. Back surgery, off the jump. See, God said you got a plan and a purpose for your life. I wanted to die on the field, but God said, no, sir. That ain't going to take you out. You got more to do. You're not just a football player. You graduated within 2 years. I allowed you to make it through brain surgery and still get here. Why? Because you're a testimony, son. Your story is not for you. Because still today, you cannot even tell me why I had to go through brain surgery. Where did it come from? They still don't know. But you can't tell, and it's not for me to discover. But you know how many individuals that get empowered and inspired by just me making it through that? Or how I was able to still make it through and fight and make it through the death of my best friend, my father, my God that I deal with still today? How are you able to push through that? Or when you're on the break of your biggest breakthrough, you go through a divorce. Sometimes I feel like Job. Hold on, y'all ain't hear me. So I'm telling you that I kept on pushing forward. My IR experience, next slide, please. This is why I found out what the league was like. This is why I found out what the business was. See, my IR experience, I stayed down there with the Chargers. Anthony Lynn was my head coach. He said, hey, baby, we need you. You're going to become a coach. Put your headphones on. Let's rock and roll. Let's stay down here and recover so you can get ready. They don't do that to a lot of IR players. When you go on IR, a lot of players just go home. They're not a part of the team. So what did I do? I worked out, recovered, and I still went to meetings. And I still made every meeting. And I still was a part of the team. And I'm still in the office so that you can see my face. And I want to learn about the business because if I know about the business, I know how to navigate through it. See, Mr. Fisher said one key thing. When you know your business, can't nobody tell you nothing. When you know your facts and you know what the league is about, you know whatever business realm you're going through, you know the pitfalls to avoid. You know how to make an exit strategy because in any business, you got to have an exit strategy. You're going to end one day. So I started learning the business. I started seeing how every Tuesday was our off day, but every Tuesday they bring 7 to 8 or 9 players in to work out for our job. They don't tell you that. I seen how if they heavy on offense, because when I played it was a 53-man roster, if they heavy on offense and the defensive player go down, they will cut this offensive player just to bring in the defensive guy. Why? We got to stay under our trajectory and our protocol. So you're telling another man that, hey, sorry, you're not going to get paid. You got to find something else to do. We got a need that we got to supply. Where's the value? Where's the mental? What kind of mental complacement do you go through knowing that any day could be my last day? Because football, the only thing the league is what have you done for me lately? And we want the youngest body. Why? Because the youngest body is the cheapest one and you're not injury prone. Back surgery, brain surgery. Next slide, please. Anthony Lynn said this. Oh. That was my dark space. All of that I went to in the dark space. See, I went through this slide a lot of times, but as I'm going through my story, I put slides together so that you can have a visual component. But I want you to listen to the words of what I'm saying. So I went to that dark space, like I said, divorced, alone, in California, all by myself, hurt, injured. Recovery because they say once you have surgery, your body is ever altered. Once your body is cut on, it's forever altered. Your body is changed. So I was in a dark place. Then Anthony Lynn hit me with this. Next slide, please. I thought you was doing it. Anthony Lynn hit me with this. Third time I heard this in my life. And this is the one that where it stuck. He said, Mike, brain surgery, back surgery, I think it's time for you to think about things outside of football. You see, because when I was getting released, I'm always strategic about business. I'm always strategic about the moves that I make. So before I got released from my doctor, I went to every one of my coaches and I asked them, hey, am I in your numbers for next year? Am I in your numbers for next year? Yeah, Mike, we in your numbers. We've been seeing your projection. We've been seeing your progression. You're a hell of a player. Yeah, we in your numbers. How many of y'all know a lot of my coaches didn't know I had brain surgery in college? I thought they did. You see, because when as me as a person, I seen a lot of people's stories came out how they had heart surgery, or they had cancer, or they had these other different things. And when their story came out, it projected them. It made their story go. You had a gentleman, Shaquem Griffin, NFL player, had one hand that helped him get into the league. Let's be real transparent about it. The way the ability for him to fight, that helped him go. So I said, dang, I had brain surgery. Hey, I had brain surgery. I'm a fighter. I'm accountable. You can trust me. I'm going to play my heart out. I'm willing to die and put everything on the field. They said, hey, this a business. Man, we can't you a liability, man. You a paycheck waiting to happen, man. What if you die on this field? What if anything happened, you can't ever walk again? Now we got to pay you for the rest of our life. We ain't about to do that. Hey, you gone, you done. So they hit me with that. And so that really put me in a dark place. And I went into corporate America. I know we pressed for time and I don't want to take too long. So we went into corporate America, right? And so we said, hey, we got to transition. How am I going to provide for my family now? So I went and tried to get jobs. I went and got with a couple of companies. And they said, hey, what have you been doing your whole life? I said, I've been playing football. They look at my resume. They see I graduated in 2 years from college, but I didn't leave Kansas State until 2017. This was 2018, 2019 at the time. What have you been doing through this time? I've been playing football. Oh, you played in the NFL? Yeah. Oh, you had brain surgery and you still playing in the NFL? Yeah. Those were all those conversations went to. Now, one conversation was about me trying to provide for my family, because they said, hey, you don't have the work experience. You don't have the work experience for this position. Or make it to the final end stage, and the only thing that was is just so they can save face and say, hey, well, we gave them a try. And so I look, and so I'm getting asked to volunteer here. I'm getting asked to do this. Hey, can you come speak here? Can you come do this? But nobody's wondering or asked or caring about how am I able to provide for my family? Because what is the mindset or the scenario of every professional athlete when they retire? I said, you play in the league, you good, you don't need it. But everybody want to take. So I became the vice president of the Dallas NFLPA chapter. I went into these Pro Bowls. I went into these healthcare seminars. I went into these different avenues, meeting different players, not just football players, basketball players, WNBA players, curling players, all different kind of athletes, and they were suffering. What are some of the things that they were suffering with? Health insurance is one of them. Because in the NFL, if you don't have your 3 accredited seasons after that first year, your health insurance, or whenever you're done, before 3 seasons, your health insurance is done after that year. The way that insurance companies look at us, it's not about if something's gonna happen, it's about when something's gonna happen. So the way that insurance that they was trying to have, that I had to get, was catastrophic insurance. I never heard of catastrophic insurance a day in my life. They told me that catastrophic insurance is when you have to buy a certain plan, then you have to go to a certain doctor, and you got to go through all that. Wow, how much money is that gonna cost? Or my lady said, hey, or you can start a business, you can start a company. Still in the same time, 2018, Eric Dickerson, next slide, please. Oh, that's suicide, we go there. Eric Dickerson and the Hall of Fame players that put out in 2018, if you follow sports, they put out to Roger Goodell and say, hey, we need health insurance and a salary. They suffering, they hurting. How they transitioning? See, a lot of players make money off of their likeness and image in the Hall of Fame, but that's still not enough to carry them on, because every day one thing that we all know that don't stop is what? Bills. You forever got to pay. They ain't always guaranteed that you're getting paid in. So I seen in this and I said, okay, you got players that need health insurance. You got players that need a way to provide for their family. Let's create something. So we went into the school system. I took a job at Lakeview Centennial High School as a permanent sub. Why did I take that job? Because I'm trying to go into the system and figure out how can I create something of value that the school will pay for. And so I went in with my mindset on, working with student athletes only. Why? I'm a student athlete. That's all I know. I never knew the life of a regular student until I got into the school system. And I started seeing how the school system may start working. I started seeing how the only thing that the school really care about is the finances that come into the school. I started seeing how the school is set up to where the only attendance that count is second period. Why? First period, kids are still getting there. People are late. Third period is lunchtime. Kids leave. Lunch, campus is open. Second period is the only period that counts because that is the accurate attendance that what you had that day. How do schools get their funding? Attendance. Hello. Start seeing the gap in that. I started seeing how a lot of these coaches are not equipped to coach. A lot of these coaches don't have the soft skills or the mentoring skills to push these kids forward. A lot of these coaches have pride in the way, and they get their prides and their egos damaged, and they damage the kid. Or they may get into it with their parents of the kid, and they won't even help the kid out. We all done seen it, probably even experienced it. And so I started seeing this. I said, whoa, it's a big gap in the system. I started seeing how student athletes have a lot of individuals that pour into their life. They encourage them and keep them going. Why? They have a destiny in the future that they're trying to get to. But you have a group of kids, regular students, that don't have that support, that don't have nobody pouring into their life, don't have nobody, or some of them don't even have somebody at home to pat them on the back to tell them they're doing a good job. Some of these kids don't even go home to parents. So I started seeing these kids and they saying, Mr. Moore, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I had the grades, I had attendance, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but nobody's at home patting me on my back. And you sit here in front of me telling me, hey, keep on doing it. Are you serious? And I said, well, I see the connect. Little girl tell me, Mr. Moore, I don't know no lawyers. I don't know no doctors. The only doctor I see is the one I go down at the community doctor. That's the only one I know, but you're telling me I can become that. How? Show me. Play somebody in my life that could do it. Play somebody in my life that can teach me the ropes to how to get there. See, we took away the dream. A lot of these kids can't dream. They don't have the ability to dream. They stuck in life. They stuck with dealing with the things that are said and not even having the opportunity to grow. So what did? We created a system. I met a couple players. I seen their lifestyles. I seen where they were in life, how they were struggling to get a job, how they were struggling to make ends meet. I said, hey, it's a whole system and a whole group of kids where we can find purpose. We can be a mentor to the school system. We can be a mentor to the coaches. And we also can be a mentor to the students. See, we go into the schools and we are reinforcement to the faculty and staff. We help their jobs run smooth. We keep the peace on campus. We go in and we work with the parents. We have a parent. I'm the parent liaison at Skyline High School. See, I started We Living. Yeah, next slide. Oh, next slide. This is my company, my organization, my nonprofit. We Living. We Living Inc. Why did I start this company? I started this company to provide for those that went before me. We have so many former players that are suffering out there, that don't have health insurance, that are struggling to find ends meet. But they have an influence, they have a voice, and they can be able to captivate a room. If you put an NFL player on campus or you put a professional athlete on campus, those students will listen to that person or that individual way before they listen to a common joke. I found that out and I tapped into it, and there's no offense, but that's just reality and the way life is. So if we're able to use the power of influence to provide a voice for the voiceless, now we're able to make a change. Why? What do? We place individuals in the room. If I can get you in the room, now I can give you the information, but if I never get you in the room, how you gonna get it? So I developed, I didn't develop, God developed a curriculum. Our curriculum, we teach mental health awareness. We teach soft skills. Why? Because a lot of these kids don't even know how to have a conversation every day to day. They don't know how to build those fundamental compartments. And a lot of things that I've learned in the school system, a lot of the APs, a lot of the teachers, a lot of these individuals don't know how to have a basic conversation. Because a lot of the problems that we have in school today is what? Ego, pride. The parents, the kids don't know how to talk to the adults. The adults don't know how to talk to the kids. The adults take it to where they yelling and arguing, hollering at a kid all day, but you don't even understand that this baby get the same thing at home by his parents and they ain't making a change. So how am I going to effectively get into these kids? So we put together a curriculum. We teach them about life. And I talk to these kids and I let them know, hey, you know why you have crime? You know why you have robbery, stealing, people selling dope? That's desperation crime. 40% of all crimes are desperation crimes. Desperation crimes, people are doing things that they have to do to feed their family. You cannot tell me what you will or won't do when bills are needed to be met. When food, you need to put on your kids' back. clothes on your kids' back, food in your kids' mouth. You won't tell me what you won't do to feed them when you don't know no way. So what we do, you had a study, next slide, please. That's me at Sky. Oh, David Reed. You see Brother David up there with Skyline, came to Skyline. We bring judges. We bring a lot of things into the school. Next slide, please. I want to get to these facts. Next slide, please. Right here. D. Carson and Danielle Nettle put together a study. This is scientific. I love to get in stats. I love getting statistics to provide the baggage of what we're doing. They gave a study that said, why do any inequality and deprivation produce high crime and low trust? They had a whole study in the case written up about this. They're cutting. I give you the link to go read it yourself, but I'll break it down to you in a brief point scenario. They said the communities that don't have inequality resources, they produce individuals that don't trust. They produce individuals that rather take those high risks. If that's the only way that they know, they'll take that high risk when they know that it's a long jail sentence behind them. That's what these communities produce. It's a fact. It's science. That's what they're saying. If you don't have the proper resources, this is what you'll get. So I say, let's provide the resources. Let's change the pendulum. Let's use the power base, our 5 power bases, and use legitimate rewarding system and put them in place to be able to create the power, put the individuals in place so that we can provide jobs. See, in our nonprofit, we have job placements. In our nonprofit, we help businesses grow and expand. In our nonprofit, we create jobs. In our nonprofit, we create and save lives. We reunite families. Why? Because if you look in the household right now, hold on, let me touch on something. When you look in the household right now, what is the biggest thing that we're dealing with? Huh? Fatherless homes. And some say out there arguing, you can have a father at the house, but is he a father? Is he present? Is he active? Because you have a lot of fathers in the home. But I even take it a step further. I even say it takes a parent that cares and that has the resources, because life will keep you down. And if you don't be careful, a lot of these things that these parents are going through, they don't have the time or the mental space or the know-how to be able to pour into their kids. So how can I pour into you when I'm trying to figure out how to pay the lights? Man, get out my face. Stop talking to me about you hungry when I just paid the water bill. You can go bathe your tail. But this is reality. So we place reality in front of these parents, and we meet them where they are, and we help them grow. We partner up with different organizations, and we help these parents find employment so they can be a parent at home. Back in the day when we was growing up, if I acted up at school, Miss Mabel whooped my tail, and when I got home, my daddy and mama whooped my tail. When I used to fight in the neighborhood, Miss Parker whooped my tail, Mr. Johnson whooped my tail, and when I got home, I got another whooping. We had a village. We had a village. Because in raising these kids, we need a village. And so what did we create? We live and we a village. Thank you for y'all time. Thank you.